Hey, yo, what up, man? It's your boy Styngray, First Kings Entertainment, and I'm here at 98.3 The Beat. You know what I'm saying? Getting ready to throw down, man, and you know, they spinning the record Be Mine, so just want to give a shout out to them and everybody in Columbus, Georgia, man. Let's rock.
Mm-hmm. So you started out in Chicago. What made you come to Atlanta?
I definitely feel like it was just something that I was being led to do. You know what I'm saying? So I would just say definitely like I feel like a divine, God type of leading on something that I should do, and that things would, that opportunity to complete what I was doing, would happen here. I was in New York at the time.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm from Chicago, but I was in New York. And so I was moving about, through New York and, well known, performed all over, and I was even on some radio out there as well. And then it just led to here.
Has your creativity, is it different in the South than in the North, you think?
I think that you have to, I think you definitely have to adapt a little bit. Wherever you go, you have to adapt. You know what I'm saying? Because
I would imagine Atlanta's a lot different than New York or Chicago.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely have to, adapt. Try to find a balance. Between who you are as an artist and your, the territory or area that you're in.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you have to connect with the people.
So producers, how do you decide who you want to work with, or do you produce your own stuff? How do you?
As far as Be Mine is concerned, Mr. Hanky produced that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So you know what I mean, definitely. And he produced the record. And
now that I think about it, I can hear him.
Yeah, well, you hear him in the beginning. When you hear the beginning of the song, it's like, Mr. Hanky. You know what I'm saying? He got his tag in the song in the very beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he produced the track, and again, I always keep my ears open for up and coming producers or people that I connect with.
He's pretty big because he did a big song for the City Girls.
Oh yeah.
He's done a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's he's there.
On your agenda, on your journey, what's next for you? What do you look forward to doing?
Well, I have the label. The label's called First Kings Entertainment, and then I have a clothing line called FKE Merchandise.com. So First Kings FIRSTKNGSENT.com is the name of the label, and the clothing line is FKE Merchandise.com. You know what I mean? So and so I'm gonna be eventually bringing in other acts and all types of different genres. And
how did you get started doing it? Because now you're growing, you're doing so much. But I mean, was it one day you thought, hey, I can rap, or you saw somebody say I can do this? How did it get started?
I think I got a standing ovation, performing with one of my best friends or whatever in Chicago, and I think that was the beginning of it. But we were singing at that time, you know what I mean? So, and it just led to rapping.
Singing what? I'm just curious.
Yeah, we were singing. Yeah. I mean, coming up. So, and I'm well rounded like that too. So, you know what I mean? I definitely have that ability. You know what I mean?
Have you found that helps in this business?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, when it comes to tracks like Be Mine, I create the chorus. So I wrote the hook and created the melody. You know what I'm saying? And then I brought an up and coming singer. Shout out to Shertrice. That actually got on the track with me. She's very talented and coming out of Atlanta. And so I was able to, arrange that together, and then she took it. So that helps in creating songs, complete songs.
Okay. So your first project, when you did your first project, what was your creative mind back then? Was it just doing music for the people, the women? Were you a lover? Were you a fighter? But wait.
Well, I think the way I view being an artist, whether it be a singer or a rapper, it's kind of you have to look inside yourself, for your own personality and experiences, you know what I'm saying, that you have,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, you know, in life, because, you know, even when it comes to poetry, you know what I mean, really it's just things you compelled to write about. So, you know, and that's kind of like how songwriting is, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, it's going to be times where, you know, where you're riding with your boys, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, it's something, you know, something happening, and we gotta, you know, we gotta go move about and handle something, you know, when it comes to different things like that. Then it's times you with a, you know, with a lady, and, you know what I mean, and, you know, the special things concerning that. And I feel like, you know, you're supposed to, it's times when you sad or angry, you know what I mean, like, you know, and you're supposed to be able to capture all of that, because I think that's what the magic is for the people.
Gotcha. All right, so now with this single, since it's doing so well, are you getting back in the studio soon? Talk to me.
Yeah, well, right now, you know what I mean, Be Mine seems to be really doing good, so we, you know, looking to
You're
try
working
to...
this, traveling, and yeah, I know that's right.
I think it's just getting going. It's just getting going. So hopefully, you know, hopefully it'll continue to spread, you know, and get on out there, you know what I mean? And then, and I got some smoke in there, you know, in the hole for y'all, though. I got some, you know what I mean? Definitely.
When I first heard the record, I'll tell you, I thought, okay, this could be crossover, because I hear so many songs every day. So some of them I said, okay, this is only for this is only for that. But Be Mine could be on a pop station, it could be on R&B, it could be on hip hop, and that's unusual. And I think you really have to know who you are and really be searching to get that sound, because it doesn't just happen. You got to really know what you're doing and be in tune with what you're doing.
Yeah. It shows that you know it.
Yeah.
Now I see that you know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, I don't just look old. I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah. But I mean, you know the music though, because like you understand. I can see that you understand on a deeper, you know, level. Because it's one thing to be, you know, a disc jockey, or you know what I mean, you know, for a station, but then understanding the music, you know, deep, you know what I mean, and intricate understanding of what you're hearing, that, you know, and you're right. You know what I mean, you're right. And that's
because we see a lot of people come and go, but you've already achieved longevity. So in your music, you can hear that this is a sound that's not just going to be good for the next 6 months or the next year, and then everybody's going to move to something else. This is something that you could listen to today, and then 5 years from now, you can listen to it and still be bopping.
Wow.
And that's unusual.
Wow.
That's unusual.
Wow. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's definitely great to hear. You know what I mean? Because that's what you you're looking for.
Yeah, because I don't have a reputation of lying. You know, people don't want it. So, what advice could you give to a young rapper trying to come up right now?
I would just say, follow your heart. Follow your heart. Like they say, first mind is usually the right one. You know what I mean? But follow your heart, or whatever that you're passionate about, and don't try to, you know what I'm saying, don't look for the break, make the break, create the break. So put yourself in the mind frame of the fact that you have to make the break, and you can. So you're not looking for a break, you're going to make the break. Make the decision on what you want to be and what you want to do, and stick to it until it's done.
That's some good advice. Styngray, got to get you back in here.
Yeah. This is cool.
Keep it live to Midday Diva on CTL's #1 station, live and local, 98.3 The Beat.